Repent, be better.
Part 2 of 4, Good Intentions Gone Wrong. This is part 2 of our series on one of the most underrated talks in modern church history. President Dallin H. Oaks, speaking at BYU in 1992, made this argument: Satan can use our strongest virtues against us just as effectively as he uses our worst weaknesses. Last time we covered spiritual gifts and gospel passion. Today we go further into character virtues that look almost unassailably good. Honor, sacrifice, compassion, goal setting, teaching. Start with the honors we receive from other people. Oaks points to the prophet Balaam, a man the Apostle Peter said loved the wages of unrighteousness, which Elder McConkie interpreted as the honors of men and the wealth of the world. Honors aren't evil. Recognition isn't evil, but they have a gravitational pull. If we're not careful, they start to quietly reorganize our priorities, pulling us away from God and toward whatever earns applause. Then there's sacrifice, one of the most sacred virtues we have. We covenant to sacrifice in holy places. But Oaks points out that even this can be corrupted when we go beyond what the Lord and his leaders have actually asked of us. He quotes Ulmer, "Why should I desire more than to perform the work to which I have been called?" People who feel their consecration is never enough can end up chasing cults and fringe groups who offer ever more dramatic outlets for their willingness to give. Their strength, generosity, and sacrifice becomes the mechanism of their undoing. A strong social conscience is the next example, caring about suffering, responding to injustice. Oaks calls this a spiritual strength, something many of us need in greater measure. And then he says, but be careful. My social conscience should not cause me to coerce others, to use their time or means to fulfill my objectives. And we should not feel alienated from our church or its leaders when they refrain from using the rhetoric of the social gospel or from allocating church resources to purposes favored by others. The restored church has a unique mission. There are things only priesthood authority can accomplish. When our social conscience starts pulling harder than our covenant commitments, we've drifted. Now here's one that cuts close. A man in a stake presidency bragged to Oaks about his perfect attendance at leadership meetings. One meeting conflicted with his work shift. His employer said no, so he called in sick. He was proud of it. Oaks watched him after that. He wondered aloud, would this man steal money in order to pay his tithing? The intensity of focus on a righteous goal had erased the requirement for righteous means. We cannot be so concerned about our goals that we overlook the necessity of using righteous methods to attain them. The last example in this group is one that hits differently for anyone who loves to teach. A charismatic teacher, trained mind, skillful delivery, genuinely effective, has a particular vulnerability. Disciples gather, influence grows, and then subtly the mission shifts from Zion to self. Oaks calls it priestcraft. Priestcrafts are that men preach and set themselves up for a light unto the world, that they may get gain and praise of the world, but they seek not the welfare of Zion. He quotes a revelation about Alman Babbitt, whom the Lord was not pleased with because he aspireth to establish his counsel instead of the counsel which I have ordained. A golden calf doesn't have to look like a golden calf. Sometimes it looks like a gifted teacher with a loyal following. What ties all 5 of these together? In every case, the virtue is real. The intention is sincere. No one plans to drift. They just keep going a little further, and the strength carries them somewhere they never meant to go. That's the adversary's patience at work. Next time, family, work, finances, and learning, and the ways our most important roles can become our most significant vulnerabilities.